a busy couple of weeks, right? End of the season, even though we didn't make the playoffs, which I'm sure you're still watching at home. Then we had the lottery, which was a close one. Of all people to get the number one, it had to be Bill.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And now here we are celebrating you and your accomplishments and everything you contributed to the game. So where were you when you got the call that you got selected to be inducted?
So it was right before the women's Final Four. So it was because I think it's that Thursday before the men's and women's Final Four, and I was literally running around town in Columbus and saw the call with caller ID of Springfield, Mass, and I was like, "This is it, I guess." so I answered it, and they were like, how's your day? And I was like, good. And they were like, well, we're going to make it better. And I was like, so it was just a random running some errands, running around town, and got the call. And then they're like, all right, we'll be in touch about coordinating details to, go to the men's Final Four. But I ended up staying in Columbus because it was Columbus's first time hosting the women's Final Four, and I had a lot of events and things to do. So I stuck around at the women's Final Four, which seemed fitting for me, and to celebrate with the women, all the folks that were a part of my life, and also my family and hometown. So, so that's how I got the call, and still to this day, no clue. And still to this day, it's just hard to think that it actually is like Jordan, Isaiah, President. I mean, but it's like, we're in the hall. It just is weird to
but
even think about.
But you have to think about it in this way. And not to necessarily compare you to the men, but when we talk about the Jordans, the Isaiahs, the Magic Johnsons, the people who kind of made basketball what it is as far as popularity, style, finesse, everything, you're part of that class. You cannot.
And that's what's funny, because all of us, so all of us, when you're in it, like whatever we're in it, you're just doing it, trying to do it as well as you can. And then when you're able to reflect and kind of look back, you're like, man, I've been a part of something that's bigger than myself, and I've helped create, give back. So it's even like Teresa Edwards, and she was one of my favorites growing up, somebody I looked up to, and Dawn's presenting me, and even those that weren't on TV as much, Cheryl Miller, Ann Myers, like people that don't understand how good they were, and I'm just blessed to be able to have basketball come into my life and kind of take off, and also the timing of it, because the WNBA was huge, the ABL was huge after the 96 Olympics for us to continue our careers and continue to play this game.
So what were some of your best memories while playing in the WNBA?
Some of my best memories, obviously Detroit, my 2 championships, and also the squad that we had. I mean, I had, Bill being my coach, and the friends that I made, and Cheryl Reeve was on the bench. So it's just literally that whole time there was so much fun to compete with those guys. Even in Minnesota, I had a blast. Even though we didn't win as much, I love the fans. It was, I was there during the first 6.5 seasons, and I just made so many friends and met the fans. To this day, when I go back, there's so much love and about being a part of the Lynx, and so I really appreciate that. And then bouncing around a little bit, but all my times I just met more and more people, ownership groups and fans, that because of them that we were able to do what we could do, which is they supported this league both in so many ways. So. The championships obviously mean something, but it's also the day-to-day and just the people that you meet throughout.
So what's the role that Bill Laimbeer has played on your entire career, both player and coach?
I've had some really good coaches. From college, and then Brian Agler, and then Bill, and then having Reeve on the bench with Bill, and it's just, but Bill is, he allows you to be you. For me, playing for him, so he let me be me, allowed me to really just show, use what I had, right, within a framework of our team. And he's direct, he's smart, he tweaks things, he's a little bit of an offensive guy, he's drawing up stuff left and right, his mind's constantly working. And, so as a player, you always felt prepped, ready, could tweak things and thinking, but him and I always had there's always a respect for what, all right, I'm thinking the same way you are. All right, we could have these type of little bit of banter. because he's a cerebral guy, and on top of that, he's a hard worker. Like, he's a competitor, and so I think him and I probably have a lot of similarities, and obviously some differences. But we're, I think there's some things about us, especially on the basketball side, that we have a lot of alike. So not only as a player it was great, but watching him do his job and be a coach allowed me to somewhat frame who maybe I was going to be as a coach. Like, you take things, right? You steal stuff from everybody, and obviously stole things from him of how he did things, and then being an assistant under him and being even more behind the scenes doing the work. Just so he's had a huge impact, both playing and now on the coaching side of kind of how I want to do things. And somebody who I can always reach out and call, and somebody who I respect, and I think the feeling's mutual.
So you take things from Bill, and now you get the Liberty. Okay, team you're familiar with. You've been on the coaching staff. These are your girls. But now you get them in completely different circumstances, and you've had them the entire time. So I remember at the beginning of the season, I asked you, how would you feel about, with the whole situation with the new arena that they're playing in, and new coaching, and all these different things changing. And you were very optimistic about it. You're like, listen, we're going to go out there and play. Now the season is over. What's done is done, right? So what is your overall assessment of this season, and how did you maintain that sense of pride, that sense of morale, that sense of optimism within the team?
It was a tough year. I mean, lots of ways. The offseason was tough just because of the unknowns, right? And then we end up, all right, boom, we're here, and we're going. But yeah, basketball-wise, wins and losses, I think most of us would say we're disappointed in the results. Do I think we were better than that? Yes, I do. I think our talent was. Did we perform every night and a consistent level that we needed to be? No. But also, I think this league has gotten better. And I think we've realized that we need to make adjustments, and we need to give it. We need more. We had one double-figure scorer, and we need somebody else. I thought Kia Nurse was a great draft pick for us. Yeah. I think her energy, the way she plays. I thought Zowie came in and played with confidence and gave us stuff. So there's a lot of positives. But in general, as a unit, no, we weren't as consistent as we needed to be every single night when it came to playing hard and not having as many breakdowns. So it's every year is different. Me coming in as a new coach, everything changes. The same things you did as an assistant, if you do them as a head coach, sometimes they don't. The carryover, it's just you got to keep adjusting and trying to figure out what works for your team. But I do think the league got extremely. They're talented. And we could have competed, but we needed to do it on a consistent basis every single night. And little breakdowns are what, at the end of the day, would bite us bite us a little bit, just because there's a 5-minute stretch where it ended up 10-point lead. Boom, then you're out of the game. But I was happy really proud of the way they finished. Nothing to play for, but they competed, and even though we didn't get wins, I saw a lot of good things from Beck. Bria was out there battling. Boyd, Stokes got some more minutes. Tina played hard down the stretch. So we're going to keep building every single day. It's also for me to continue to learn them and learn what works, what doesn't, little things on the basketball court. But we're going to try to get better in all ways. What we do, game stuff, practice stuff, player stuff, everything. We're going to be looking, how to make our team more competitive.
One thing I also realized with coaching is you guys lead the ladies not just on the court, but sometimes off the court, through life, any personal things that they may have going on. So right now, it's kind of been there the whole time, but social media just gives certain people a platform to talk, if I can be honest, talk shit, right? I feel like I could just keep it real with you, right? So leading a team of women, especially with the majority of women being women of color, right? What sense of responsibility do you think you have to be able to lead them as they're trying to really take the reins to create change and fight for some of the equality that they want to see within their profession?
I support it 100%. It's fun because every single person is different. how they go about business. Some people like social media, some people don't, and it's fun to see their different personalities. But for us, it's there to empower them to know that we have their back when it comes to being able to speak their mind and be an individual. And they're not just basketball players. They're not. This is their career, but they all have individual experiences and things they want to do. So I think that's something that we're always there to try to help them, and maybe also help them do it in a way that fits best or works best, right? And you have the resources within your organization, or you can find somebody that can help them, voice whatever they need to, or how do I approach that? So you just always are there, but I think at the end of the day, our position is to support them and give it and empower them, that they aren't just playing basketball. We care about you more than just, thanks, you scored these many points and you gave me these many rebounds. Mm-hmm. You're Brittany Boyd, you're Bria Hartley. You got lots of things going on in your life, and I think that's something I hope we show them, is that it's not just, you're not just a number and how many points you give us. It's more about who you are, and are you doing okay, and what is it that you need or want to do, because it's the resources that we have while they're playing and the resources they have. You should take advantage of it to be able to use your platform.
So I don't want to keep you much longer because it sounds like it's getting, oh no, everyone's still talking to Grant Hill, so there's still time. I just wanted to get your predictions. You have to pick a team. I don't want to hear, I don't want a team. You have to pick a team. Seattle. Oh.
You got a little rain.
Okay. Seattle or Washington?
I'm going to go with Seattle.
Okay.
The last series I had Washington, Phoenix.
So we saw Sue Bird's equivalent of her flu game the other night. It's her mask game, though.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think Washington's played really, really well all year. I do. I think they've been one of the best teams, especially down the stretch halfway through the season. But I think Seattle, Birdie, Lloyd, Stewie, Natasha Howard, and then whoever, Canada hit big shots the other night. I think who they have, and as well if they've played and how hard they're playing and well they're playing together, I just think they're going to be really hard to beat. But I wouldn't sleep on Washington either. I think it's at least 4 games. I'm going to go with Seattle.
So it starts tomorrow, actually, in Seattle, which is like such a crazy turnaround.
I know it's tough on him, but
yes.
Our season should prepare us for anything, because this season was a wild one, just the amount of games in a short amount of time and in and out of town. But the ladies really, it speaks to their resilience and their competitiveness. I mean, they want to get this done.
Well, they have a fearless leader like you.
Yeah.
So I want you to enjoy this weekend, soak it all up. You deserve every accolade you're getting this weekend. All the love, send all of it to you.
I'm gonna take it.
What are you wearing tomorrow?
Green. But hopefully it's something that looks good on TV.
High heels?
Yeah, I got a little bit. Nothing. I'm not trying to kill myself down there. But yes, I'll have a little heels.
Can't wait to see you. Congratulations.
Thanks, you guys.